Sadly, these days most people associate Taijutsu with Naruto. As it happens, Taijutsu is a genuine martial art with a rich history. It doesn't really have anything to do with ninjas either. However, like ninjas, the reality of Taijutsu is that these days it's not really around much and is kind of dead. The reason is due to the emergence of more effective, newer martial arts that have replaced the need for Taijutsu. Nonetheless, the history and impact of Taijutsu is worth learning about, so here's everything you need to know about the forgotten Japanese martial art. Taijutsu was created around 700 AD. It was founded in Japan and was part of Buddhist training, meaning it has links with Chinese martial arts. Generally, most Japanese martial arts have some kind of origin rooted in China, so it's not surprising to see this with Taijutsu. Taijutsu roughly translates as body technique and was mostly a striking-based martial art that focused on the body. In other words, for some reason it neglected head strikes and has been described as similar to karate but without kicks or punches to the head. Some forms of Taijutsu also include grappling, but it depends on what variation has been taught, and Taijutsu does not train with weapons either. Taijutsu certainly is a martial art. However, some viewers have been confused from anime shows such as Naruto, which make them think the art is completely made up. However, Taijutsu is a genuine, real martial art that is pretty much lost in time. Whilst there still are some schools that teach Taijutsu, the likelihood of finding one locally is very slim. It's sad to say, but almost zero genuine Taijutsu schools exist, especially in the West. If you do happen to find one, then there's a good chance it will be watered down or teaching something very different from the original martial art, since there was nowhere to learn it from in the first place. You can train Taijutsu in real life, however, the issue is finding a place that actually teaches it. This is not an easy feat, since most people don't know what Taijutsu is, or if it's real. Instead, most people will look towards mainstream martial arts, such as learning karate or kickboxing instead. There are a few videos on YouTube which will give you a glimpse of genuine Taijutsu, and perhaps you could learn some techniques from these or a book. However, saying this, actually finding a genuine Taijutsu gym will prove much more challenging. Mastering Taijutsu is not an easy skill and takes many years of practice. Really though, it depends on your definition of master. In some martial arts, the term grandmaster is used, which can literally mean over 50 years of practice. In others, it can mean closer to 10 years. With this in mind, you would expect a Taijutsu master to be training for over 10 years at least. Ultimately though, this definition is fluid, as there's little gatekeeping involved with Taijutsu, it's up to the individual. Genuine Taijutsu can be considered good for self-defense up to a point. Perhaps the main reason as to why Taijutsu never caught on was because it was very big on hitting the body and not the head. Everyone knows that the way to knock people out is generally by hitting the head, which is something that Taijutsu does not teach. This alone means it has a glaring weakness. Having said that, in terms of striking, Taijutsu has been compared to certain types of karate. The reason for this is that it uses similar punches and kicks and can use elbows, like in Muay Thai. From this perspective, Taijutsu is genuinely effective for self-defense, just don't expect any unrealistic Naruto moves. Remember, Taijutsu is a real martial art, so should be trained like one. If you wanted to defeat an opponent that used Taijutsu in a fight, there would be several ways to win. Firstly, you could use a martial art such as kickboxing and aim for the head. As Taijutsu is more body focused, this would give the kickboxer the edge, as they would likely be training with their hands down and not protecting their head. You could also apply a similar example to Taekwondo. Another method would be to use a grappling martial art such as judo or wrestling to defeat a Taijutsu practitioner. This is because many of the old wushu and Japanese striking martial arts didn't really train takedowns, or at least did to only a primitive level. Something like BJJ would also fare well in terms of submissions that may not be covered greatly with Taijutsu. Against an untrained opponent though, Taijutsu would do well and with enough practice would hold its own. Overall, Taijutsu is a legitimate martial art that has literally been around for over 1,000 years. However, these days it has faded into obscurity and has been replaced by more efficient forms of fighting. For better or worse, Taijutsu was highlighted in Naruto, where it was one of the main fighting styles on the show. Regardless of its history, the reality is that it's very difficult to learn Taijutsu in modern day, and one day soon it may become extinct due to a lack of interest. Nonetheless, it's fair to say that Taijutsu has helped shape martial arts and played an important role in contributing towards arts such as karate and other striking arts.